Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one of the most alarming and dramatic developments unfolding in the heart of Iran. Tehran, a city home to more than 13 million people, is facing a crisis unlike anything in its modern history. People are calling it Tehran Blackout 2.0, but this time the disaster has nothing to do with electricity. This time it's water. And the panic spreading across the capital is unlike anything authorities were prepared for. Over the past several days, thousands of residents have woken up to taps that have run completely dry. No water for drinking, bathing, cooking, or washing. Videos began to surface online showing people in long lines carrying plastic containers, bottles, and buckets, waiting to collect even a few liters from temporary emergency water trucks. What started as a local supply glitch quickly escalated into a full-blown emergency across several districts. The government responded with a rare red-level emergency alert, signaling the highest possible degree of danger. This was not a minor shortage. This was not temporary disruption. This was a critical failure of the city's life support system. To understand how things reached this breaking point, you have to go back years, decades even. Iran, despite having some of the world's oldest irrigation and water management traditions, has been facing accelerating water stress. Mismanagement, rapid population growth, environmental changes, and outdated infrastructure have all contributed to a slow, burning disaster. Tehran's water supply depends heavily on reservoirs and dams fed by mountain snow. But over the last decade, snowfall has drastically decreased, temperatures have risen, and the water table has fallen. Combine that with seasonal droughts and one of the fastest rates of groundwater extraction on the planet, and you get a city quietly marching toward catastrophe. In recent months, satellite images revealed something truly disturbing. Tehran's main reservoirs are at historically low levels. Some are less than 20% full, levels not seen in decades. As the rainy season weakened and the heat intensified, the pressure on supply lines increased. Officials had warned that the city was vulnerable, but no one expected the tipping point to arrive so suddenly and so violently. When the shortages began, authorities first blamed technical repairs, but the truth leaked fast. Several main pumping stations had shut down due to insufficient pressure from upstream reservoirs. Without enough water feeding into the system, entire neighborhoods went dry. Panic spread instantly. People rushed to supermarkets, hoarding bottled water. Prices skyrocketed overnight. Emergency calls overwhelmed local water companies. And within hours, Tehran's mayor confirmed the worst. The system had entered a critical phase. Residents compared the situation to the infamous Tehran blackout crisis that plunged neighborhoods into darkness due to electricity shortages. But as one citizen said in a viral interview, electricity you can survive without for a while, but water, not even a day. The emotional weight of the crisis was palpable. Parents worried about their children. Hospitals struggled to maintain hygiene and sterilization. Schools announced emergency closures. Even the city's traffic decreased as people avoided going out, too busy hunting for water, or too anxious to leave their homes. But here's where the story takes an even darker turn. Analysts warn that this may not be a temporary emergency. Iran's water problem has gone from serious to existential. In the past decade, 300 out of 609 major aquifers across the country have been classified as overdrawn. Some regions have already seen villages abandoned due to dry wells, but never has the capital itself been so close to collapse. Tehran is not just any city. It's the political, economic, and social nerve center of Iran. A water breakdown here is a national-level disaster. Experts say that one of the biggest contributors to the crisis is Iran's agricultural water usage. Nearly 90% of the country's water goes to farming, much of it inefficiently. The combination of old irrigation systems, water, thirsty crops, and government subsidies has placed immense pressure on already scarce water resources. Urban demand is increasing, infrastructure is aging, and climate patterns are becoming more extreme. In short, Tehran was sitting on a ticking time bomb, and it finally exploded. On social media, anger has reached new heights. Many Iranians accuse officials of ignoring warning signs and investing billions in political projects while neglecting basic infrastructure. Others are demanding long-term solutions, including modern irrigation systems, water recycling plants, and strict groundwater regulations. Some activists are even calling this the biggest internal threat the country has faced in decades, not protests, not sanctions, not economic issues, but water. But while citizens express frustration, the government is trying desperately to maintain control. Emergency water tankers have been deployed. Street taps have been set up in some neighborhoods. Authorities are urging people to limit their water usage to essential needs only. State television is broadcasting guidelines on hygiene and conservation, but the scale of the crisis is overwhelming these efforts. The fear now is that if the shortage continues, or if another reservoir supply line fails, the city could face mass internal displacement. Some experts warn that if water does not return soon, tens of thousands of residents may be forced to temporarily relocate. This raises a terrifying question. Could Tehran see a scenario similar to what other drought-hit regions experienced, an urban exodus triggered by water collapse? Meanwhile, economists are sounding alarms of their own. A water crisis of this scale could cripple industries, disrupt supply chains, and cause price spikes in essential goods. Businesses relying on water-based production may shut down temporarily. Restaurants, bakeries, laundromats, construction sites, and car wash centers have already reported operational disruptions. The ripple effects of water scarcity extend far beyond individual households. They hit the entire economy. Hospitals are among the most severely impacted. Many have shifted to emergency reserves and rationing systems. Non-critical surgeries are being postponed. Medical staff are pleading for more support, warning that sanitation failures could lead to secondary crises, including disease outbreaks. Water isn't just a convenience, it's fundamental to public health. As if the situation wasn't dire enough, meteorologists predict that the coming months may bring even less rainfall than usual. That means refilling reservoirs won't be quick or easy. Even if temporary relief arrives, the underlying problem will remain unsolved. Tehran's water system needs urgent modernization, diversification of supply, and long-term management strategies that go beyond crisis response. International observers are also closely monitoring the situation. Global water experts warn that Tehran's crisis is not isolated. Many major cities, Cape Town, Chennai, Mexico City, and others, have faced or are now facing similar threats. The world is entering an era where water scarcity is becoming a defining challenge. Climate change, population growth, and mismanagement are converging into powerful forces that push cities toward what experts call Day Zero, the day when taps run dry. Tehran may have just experienced its unofficial Day Zero moment. So what happens next? Officials say they are working around the clock to stabilize the system. Some repairs are underway. Reservoir management has been adjusted. Additional emergency water trucks have been deployed. But all of these are short-term solutions for a long-term crisis. A city of this size cannot rely on emergency water distribution forever. Residents, meanwhile, are preparing for the worst. Many are storing large containers of water in their homes. Others are buying portable filtration devices. Water sales on the black market have begun appearing in some areas. This is what panic looks like in a megacity facing the loss of its most essential resource. But there is also resilience. Community groups have started coordinating water sharing networks. Volunteers are distributing bottles to elderly residents. Some neighborhoods are pooling money to buy tankers for collective use. In crises like these, ordinary citizens often step up when systems fail. As we move deeper into the story, it becomes clear that Tehran's water emergency is more than a technical failure or a weather-related issue. It's the result of years of environmental stress, political decisions, and infrastructural neglect, colliding in a way that no one can ignore anymore. The crisis has cracked open a national debate. Should Iran overhaul its entire water management system? Should agricultural consumption be reduced? Should the government invest in desalination, recycling, and modern technology? There's no simple answer, but one thing is certain: Tehran cannot afford another emergency of this scale. The city has now joined the growing list of global urban centers where water is no longer guaranteed. And that reality should concern every nation on Earth. As the emergency continues, families remain uncertain about the future. Will water return tomorrow, next week, next month? No one knows for sure. Officials are promising updates, but information is limited and often conflicting. Some experts privately admit that certain districts might continue experiencing shortages for weeks. For the residents, every dry tap is a reminder that the crisis is far from over. This moment, Tehran Blackout 2.0, will likely be remembered as a turning point. A moment when millions of people realized how fragile their city truly is. A moment when water, something we take for granted every day, suddenly became the most precious and contested resource. As Tehran fights to recover, the world is watching. How Iran handles this crisis could shape how other nations prepare for their own future water emergencies. Whether the city collapses under the pressure or emerges stronger will depend on the next decisions made by leaders, engineers, and citizens alike. Thank you for watching today's special deep dive. If you found this report valuable and want more detailed global crisis updates, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future content. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, water is life, and right now, Tehran is learning that lesson the hardest way possible.